Shabbos, everybody. Shabbos.
Shabbos.
Shabbos. So as you take off your coats, coming in out of the cold, return to page 7 and 8. Towards the bottom of the page, the words Higale Na, which mean reveal, Gilui, Legalot. We're still not yet at a place where we're fully back, I think, in some profound way, but if you can just take something off slightly in your heart, your mind, at this moment, something, lay it down. There's a co-check in time. I know that Heschel has a cathedral or a palace, and there's a co-check in time, a temporal co-check. It's where you hang the week's clothing, the things that you wear. I don't know about you, but I sometimes wear a coat of despair, and I put it down on Shabbat, you know. I sometimes wear a coat of frustration, and I hang that also in the coat check room. I sometimes have a coat that I wear called productivity. I have extra large in that. That's like productivity, yeah. And I have it in like 5 different colors. It's like one for each work day. It's like Shabbat comes, Higalena, take off your Chalukah de Piruda, the garment of separation. Wear the Chalukah de Yichuda. So when we sing, we wear a coat of unity. We find the harmony. So if you're off the boat from Eretz Yisrael, from the land of Israel, as Gary is, and you speak with Havara Yisraelit, okay, beseder, we're going to sing Higalena. If you're like an Upper West Side Ashkenazi, Higalena. If you don't speak Hebrew, just be like, you're good. On page 7 and 8, Higalena. Na ufros chavivi Higalena. Your peace, let your peace rain down on us. Hey, 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 God, God, Page 9 and 10, Psalm 95. L'chunranina.
L'chunranina l'Adonai, nariya l'tzug yishenu, l'kadma fanav betoda, b'zmirot nariya lo.
אל תקשו לבבכם, כי מלבב יום מסע במדבר, שניסוני אבותיכם, בחנוני גם ראו פועלי.
ל40 שנה,
עקוד ודור, העומרם טועה לבבי, והם לא ידעו דרכי.
נשבעתי באפי,
Page 11 and 12. שינו לאדוני שיר חדש, שינו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני כל שמו ומעול היום התורה בגויים וכל העמים כי גדול אדוני מול עלמאו אינו ראוי על כל אלוהי כל אלוהי העמים אלילים ואדוני שמיים עשה הון והדר לפניו ותיאר מקדשו עברו לאדוני משפחון העמים עברו לאדוני עברו לאדוני כבוד שמו זהו מנחה ובאו לחצרותי השתחמו לאדוני ימנו מגויים אדוני מלך עד כל דבר בעל תימוריה עדין עמים ישרים יסלחו תגר הקרן ירם הים אומר אוי אלוה סלק וכמו אשר אז ירננו כל הצביעות על לפני אדוני כי ישפוט ילמותם ויצא במקי עמים ממר עלי Psalm 97 on page 13 and 14 Adonai Malach Rasa v'dachel eretz arim Adonai damasu liznei Adonai mitedon kol haaretz Ki ata Adonai Elyon kol haaretz mon aleisa kol Elohim ohavei Adonai sienu ram shomer nafsho chasidav
מיד רשעים יצילם
עוז כל הצדיק
ולישראל שמחה שמחו
צדיקים אדוני
והודו לזכר קודשו
תזמור שיר לאדוני שיר חדש כי
שיר
נברא
חדש
הושיע לו ימינו זו country on page 15 and 16 making redemption visible, giving a form to righteousness. He has made us remember his love and loyalty, even the ends of the earth witness this divine deliverance. Zamnu l'Adonai b'chino b'chino v'kol zimra, v'chatzot tzros v'kol shofar, Havi lifnei HaMelech Adonai. יחד עמים ינננו אימא לשמות הארץ
ישפוט הבל בצדק
וימים
במי שערים.
on page 17 Psalm 99. The great oneness is the sum of our pulsing life. The one enthroned on Keruvim is also present as the earth convulses. Adonai b'tzion gadol v'namu al kol ha'amim yidu shemchem. Romemu Adonai l'mishlach v'la'adam ragalav kadoshu. Moshe Aaron v'Kohanav v'Shmo v'Korei Shemo. Korim el Adonai v'hu yanem. V'amunanan yidaber aleihem. Shamnu edosa v'chokno salamo. Adonai Eloheinu ata ani sam. El nosei ha'yisa lachem. V'nokem alali lo sam. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu le'ar kodesho Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Please rise. Psalm 29 on page 19 and 20. Mi esmol ledavavi avuladunai lekenim avuladunai avuladunai ay avuladunai ochemo ishtachavu ladunai oladunai alamayim You may be seated. Kabel minas amecha sagvenu tanenu norana giboy koshe yichudcha kevava shamrein v'achem tarem rachamei tzidkascha tamid gam leim chasi kadosh v'rav tuvecha na'el adasecha. Page 21 and 22, towards the bottom of the page, the bolded Hebrew. Yachid geye le'amcha v'nei Zohrei Kedusha Sech Yachid Geye Le'amnecha Fenei Zohrei Kedusha Dini nai 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 hey nai nai Dini nai 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 Dini nai 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 Dini nai 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 Hey nai 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 Dini nai 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 Hey nai 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 Hey nai 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 Yachigeye Le'am Yachigeye Le'amcha Fenei Zoche Gedushan Dini nai 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 Hey nai Hey nai 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 Hey nai Dini nai 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 Hey nai Hey Dini nai Hey nai 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 Dini nai 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 So take 2 minutes, everyone, if your eyes are already closed, just to relax your shoulders and drop your chin slightly. Feel the length in the back of your neck and also the length in your spine as you sit with a koma zekufa, with a full stature, not rigidly, not holding yourself, not trying to do it right, just making room in your body by energizing yourself to have more space. Shabbat has two components, the stopping but also the remembrance. And the remembrance is an active, energetic embrace of what it takes to stop and to make space. There's a making and there's an allowance. There's a letting in and a making room. So even as sounds in the room are present, just notice what it might take for you to release more of the week and just to be fully supported by the chair you're sitting in and the back rest that holds you, the music that has been present and is washing over us as if a sound bath or a mikveh, an immersion in the sounds and words of our ancestors, which is timeless and spaceless. It doesn't matter where we are or what time it is. It's a hazmana, it's an invitation. So how might our seeing be Shabbat seeing? Our listening be Shabbat listening? Our breathing be Shabbat breathing? You know, Isaiah says in his prophecy that we should speak differently on Shabbat, and he didn't just mean with one another, but with ourselves. What's your Shabbat inner dialogue tonight? We say Shabbat Shalom to the whole world, but Shabbat Shalom to yourself. And for some of us, this is a metaphor or a dipping into the teachings of Oprah Winfrey, the Rebbe. But for those of us who allow ourselves to be vulnerable with our various states of consciousness throughout the day, we know that you can be 50 years old and you have a 2-year-old with you, and a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old and a 10-year-old. And those voices on Shabbat have to be gentle voices, saying, Kinderlach, Kinderlach, it's been a long week. And so we welcome the Shekhinah, the divine presence, who in our tradition classically is a gendered she, but we might also include just the beloved, the presence of that which is sacred, that which is holy, that which is just is. The one who is Kala, the one who is bride, but also Hakol, all that is. So the words Lecha is the same letters as Kala, and the same letters as Hakol, the same letters as the bride, and the same letters as all that is. Lecha means energetically, let's go. So whenever you'd like to open your eyes, feel free to find the words of the bride, of the all, of Let's Go on page 23 and 24. Chadodi. Likras kala benei Shabbos neka Moishamo zachor b'diborecha nishmiyanu elelameyu chanat na'echad u'shmoel l'shem u'tiferet ve'eliktina lecha Likras kala benei Likras Shabbat lecho enelecha ki bekor haberachcha merosh kedem nefesu chasum maseh v'machshava de'leira lecha Likras kala benei Shabbos neka v'nam Omoy mikdash melech melech chakumi Oreni ki ya Allah yemina lecha lecha ikras kanta benei Shabbat nekaila lecha לא תקרמי מה תשתוקקי ומתי רעך יקיסו עניי אוויר נבנתה יקלה לך דודי לקראת קלה Everybody, come on, get up, everybody, get up, guys. Shosai Rachato, Kol Me'alai Yasis Alai, Elohai Kimsos Chatan, Ankala Molecha Adodi, Aikas Kala, Obenei Abba, Nekabela, Yaminus Mo, את אדוני
אריצי על ידי בין פרצי בין משמחה ונגילה
לקראת עבודי לקראת קלה ובני
שבת
נקרא אלוהי לילה 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 יבם התרס בעלה גם בשמחה ובצוהלה אוי חלה שבת המלכה לחמדו Please remain standing as we turn to face the front of the room. Psalm 92 on page 27 and 28. מזמור שיר ליום השבת מזמור שיר
ליום השבת
מזמור שיר
שיר ליום
השבת
מזמור שיר ושיר ליום השבת היי מזמור שיר שיר ליום השבת מזמור שיר ושיר ליום השבת היי מזמור שיר
שיר ליום השבת Shir Yom HaShabbat, the whole wide world is waiting to sing a song of Shabbat. The whole wide world is waiting to sing a song of Shabbat. Oh, the whole wide world is waiting to sing a song of Shabbat.
The whole world is waiting
To sing
a song of Shabbat.
oh,
And I'm also waiting
to sing
a song of Shabbat. I'm also waiting to sing a song of Shabbat. Mizmor shir, shir leyom HaShabbat. Mizmor shir.
Magadu Masecha Adonai Moram Kumach Shemosech Yishbar LeYodei V'Letzvei Tamaram Leolam Adonai Kinoi V'Choinoi Kinoi V'Choinoi V'Eidis Bardu Kol Poli Avin V'ata Deveni B'Shura V'Kamim L'Em B'Rim Tishman Osnat Tzadika Tama Yivrach Eres Balavanu Yiskei Shisulim V'Veis Adonai V'Chatzos Eloheinu Yafrichu Od Yinevon V'Seva Desheni Ranani Yulagit Ki Yashar Adonai Tzuri V'lo Avlasa Bo Adonai Malach Keus Lavesh on page 29, Psalm 93. Lavesh Adonai Ozi Tazar Afti Konte V'Balti Monachon Kisacha Me'az Me'olam Ata Nasu Neros Adonai Nasu Neros To'olam Yisu Neros Toch Yam Mikol Esmayim Rabim Adirim Mishper Yam Adir B'Maram Adonai Edosecha Nemnu Mo'odaveischa Nava Kodesh Adonai Le'orech Yamim. We pray for those who need healing this evening.
שבירך אבותינו מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing.
Let us say Amen.
שבירך
אמותינו מקור
הברכה
לאבותינו.
Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal
of spirit,
and
let us say
Amen.
You may be seated, everyone. If you're here tonight for the first time, we welcome you. A couple of very brief announcements before we continue with the evening service. Tomorrow morning, our open book will be at 8:45. There'll be a Shabbat morning services again at 10. There's a family Shabbat service and lunch tomorrow at 10:30. And on Sunday, January 22nd, we'll have our Mandala Romemu Cafe. There are a couple of other things, important things on your newsletter, so please take it. A week from tonight, there'll be a communal Shabbat dinner. It's the last Shabbat of every month will be our communal Shabbat dinner. Everything that you need to know about it is on the newsletter. And also in February, we're going to be having home-hosted Shabbat meals as well. That's on your newsletter, so please don't forget to take it with you. We ask you to please rise for the evening service. Which can be found on page 31 and 32. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Ba 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 ba, yeah yeah yeah, oh yeah yeah yeah, da da, I did it on the da, did it da 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 da, oh I did it on the da, yeah da 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 da, yeah yeah yeah, I did it on the da, oh my yeah yeah da 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 da. Baruchu es Adonai Ha'adanam Ha'amevorach We continue on page 33 and 34. אלא חיה וקיימת, תמיד תמלוך עלינו לעולם ואין. ברוכה עד השכינה, המרהיבה ערבים, אהבת עולם בית ישראל. On page 36. עמך אהבת אותו מצוות חוקים משפטים ושמים תקן. אהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. אלי אלי Page 37 and 38, we prepare for Shema. Shema Yes Adonai Elohei Adonai Echad. On page 39 and 40, V'yochavta eis Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha v'hayu
הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם מאוד על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
V'ayam Shamot, page 41, second paragraph of the Shema. למען יבוא ימיכם במי בניכם ולא דבר אשר השבעתו נא לאבותיך תן להם כי מהשמיים לארץ ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם יעשו להם ציצית על כנפי בניהם לדורתם. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים אלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים ונתתם לאלוהים אני אדוני. Adonai Elohechem Emen Yatsu Yemuna Kozon. On page 48 and 47 שבחו והודו לשמוע מלאכוס ורצון משה מרים ובני ישראל זכרנו שירה בשמחה רב ימלכו לה יחמוך. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורתנו מלכותך.
ראו בניך כהיה בפני משה ומרים זה לי ענו ויאמרו
אדוני ימלוך
לעולם ועד ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב גלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני
שמו.
גל ישראל.
אמן אשכיבנו. On page 49, אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, עמידנו מלכינו לחיים. יד מלכנו ורחמתו, שמור צאצאנו ובואנו, לחיים ולשלום, מעתה ועד עולם ופרוס עלינו. סוכת שלומך ברוך אתה אדוני, הפורש סוכת שלום, עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל, על כל יושבי סבל, ועל ירושלים. Please rise for Vishamra on page 51 and 52, C sharp minor.
היי ושמעו בני ישראל את השבת
Chatzi Kaddish, Iskandal, Iskadash, Mei Rabba. Alma Livrach, Yusei, Yamlich Machusei. Vecha, Vagechon, Uv Yomechon. ובגי לכל בית ישראל, בעגלה, בעגלה, ובזמן קורב ימרו. יש מרבה מבורך, עולם יומי על מיה יסברך.
יתברך וישתבח, ויתבר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה, ויתהלל שמי דקודשה. לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, טוב שמך נחמתה, ואמירה מעולמה ואמרו אמן.
Silent Amidah can be found on page 55 and 56.
Let there be peace.
Let there be peace.
Let there be peace.
Let there be peace.
Let there be
Let there be
peace.
peace. Let there be peace. Shalom. Salam. Hacheyom Shanti. Salam. Shalom. 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 Moses comes to God with a legitimate complaint. You don't have to go anywhere. No, you can stay. Everybody can stay. It's a short devar. It'll be easier this way? Okay, stay there. Okay. Just don't get too comfortable. It's short, really short. So Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses, our teacher, comes to God with a legitimate complaint at the end of last week's Torah portion. It says, Me'az basi ledaber b'Pharaoh. It says, from the moment that I came to speak with Pharaoh, it's gotten worse. It's gotten worse. V'atzel lo itzalta samecha, and you know, you didn't throw us the life vest. And this week's parsha begins at that juncture of Moshe's despair, his despondency, his disbelief, his resignation as a leader. I can't do it, I can't do it. I tried, but I can't do it. I'm only making things worse. Would that we had leaders that actually thought that. We're just saying, like, would that we were on that madre, on that level where leaders blame themselves for some of the things that are happening in the world instead of saying it's about somebody else. But okay, Moshe took it to heart. He said, okay, it's my fault. And so now the beginning of the parsha, the beginning of tomorrow morning's Torah reading, will be God's response. And on some level, you're hoping that God is going to have something good to say to unlock Moshe. So the Torah tells us, Va'era, and God appeared, and God spoke to Moshe saying, he says, hi, tell the people it's me. And Ani Adonai, it says, Vayidaber Elohim Moshe, Vayomer Elav Ani Adonai. So he says to Moshe, hi, nice to meet you. Ani Adonai, I am God. Which, like in Yiddish, it's a mod nazach. What is that? It's strange. Ani Adonai, thanks, nice to meet you, God. But we met already. Do you have a short-term memory loss? Maybe God is like having some difficulty with God's memory. Remember me? I'm the one we were talking to. I know who you are. It's very formal. It was almost like a divine hand comes out and says, I like to introduce myself. I'm formally known as Yud He Vav He. That's my name. And then, as if to backtrack on this, he says, God says, Va'ere el Avram Yitzchak v'Yaakov el Shaddai, and I've appeared to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob with the El Shaddai, with the name El Shaddai, that's the divine name. Ushmi Adonai, and my name of Yud He Vav He, the one that I just said literally one breath ago, is my name. That name, Lo Nodati Lahem. I have not made it known to them. Now, of course, anybody I remember reading this when I was like in first grade or something. I remember, it doesn't make any sense. What are you talking about? First of all, if anybody reads the book of Genesis, they know that God has appeared in the form of Yud He Vav He. Right? If the phrase here is, I was never made known through the formal four-letter name of God, that can't be. You can find a verse, like there are verses before this, numerous verses, where Yud He Vav He is the divine name. And so, from the moment these verses became a part of our tradition, commentators have been trying to figure out what exactly is going on here. And how does it solve the problem? I remember, this divine speech act is trying to energize Moshe. Moshe is like, it's not happening. And God says, no, Alina, it's going to happen. You see, first of all, I'm Yud He Vav He. Nice to meet you. And also, just so you know, I didn't make that known to anyone before, just to you. And you're the only one. And so the commentator, first, what is God saying? How does it work with the literal meaning of the text where that's factually false? Right? It's just false. That name has been used before. And more importantly, if we can understand what's being said here, does it support Moshe to go forward? Because that's what you're hoping for, right? So Rashi, of course, there are a lot of commentators, everybody, the Gemara, the Midrashim, everybody. Let's just keep it simple. Rashi, Rabbi Shlomo Yitzchaki from the 11th century, the greatest commentator. He writes like this. He says, the grammatical form used, vinodati, that I didn't make myself known, doesn't mean that they didn't know my name. That's, of course, they knew my name. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, they knew my name. But what they didn't know, because they didn't yet have an experience of, was the promise of my name. And he goes on to explain. The name El Shaddai, the divine name El Shaddai, powerful, fructive one. Right? The name Shaddai, which is one of the divine names, is used over and over again in the book of Genesis to promise progeny, to promise fertility, to promise, right, a future, a fecundity. It says, they were occupied with their future, with their family business. But the quality of Yud He Vav He, the quality of this divine name is a quality of freedom giving, of liberation, of anything is possible. And they didn't know it intimately because they didn't need it to be known. They didn't need it to be known until now. This is the moment God says to Moshe, you are the one who can bring that name to its fullest expression. So go tell the children of Israel, it's true. I'm still the same God that was. But guess what? I know that you have millions of people. You don't need that. I'm here to tell you that I know how to free you. That the essence of my name is a name of liberation, of unbinding ties, unshackling shackles, of liberation. So how does that help? Well, first of all, Rashi gets out of one problem. He says, okay, they knew it, but they didn't know it intimately. And then he offers that to know this thing intimately, the people had to have the illness that this name is the medicine for. And we read it now as, go tell the children of Israel, Ani Adonai, meaning, I'm the medicine for what ails you. Right? I know what you need. And I also know why you're doubtful, because you haven't yet had an experience of it. It's a beautiful Torah from Rashi. I love it. There are things that we haven't yet experienced. Or, put it differently, sometimes the only redemption that we think is possible is the one that we've already known that isn't really that big a redemption. Sometimes you come to people and they say, oh, I'm going to give you El Shaddai, and they're like, great. I don't really need El Shaddai. But I don't even know what Yud Hey Vav Hey means. I don't even know what liberation is. We've been enslaved now for 400 years, 210 years. What does that even mean? And so God says to Moshe, go back and tell them. There's a liberation that they haven't yet even conceived of. And I've given you a taste of it, Moshe. You're the first one to leave Egypt. You're the Bodhisattva. You're the first liberated Jew in the Egyptian exile. And you know it intimately. Ani Adonai, you know it, Moshe. You know what it's like to leave slavery. You know it. So go back and tell them, listen, guys, it's crazy. It's like, we're back in in Flatland with Abbott. We're in the book Flatland, where the two-dimensional figures don't know what three-dimensional and fourth-dimensional realities are. They're like, oh, what is that protrusion? Is that called depth? They don't know what depth is. They're two-dimensional. These are slaves. They only know El Shaddai. But Moshe, you have to come back and tell them, Ani Adonai. Ani Adonai, I'm the one who's going to make the promise of your ancestors come true. It's a beautiful possibility. And it makes me think about my limited imagination for what the world could be like, or my world could look like. How often during the week are people coming to me and saying, El Shaddai, and I say to them, leave me alone. And what they really need to be finding is, what's the right way to open me up? What's the right way for me to open you up? If I tell you something, say, hey, it could be better. Say, no way. So let me show you. Ani Adonai. It's a beautiful Torah from Rashi. And it's a beautiful Torah for all of us. On some level, we're not out of Egypt ever, as the rabbis teach. Every day is another Egypt. The Degel Machaneh Ephraim, the great-grandson of the Baal Shem Tov, the grandson of the Baal Shem Tov, Moshe Ephraim of Sadilikov, he wrote that later on in the Parsha it says, and God says, go tell, he says, he commands Moses and Aaron to go speak to the Israelites in Egypt. And the Degel says, Israelites in Egypt, of course they're in Egypt. It says to every Israelite, for every generation who's in Egypt, who's in a narrow place, who thinks that it's not possible, right? The dream that they had is now falling apart, or the vision, they can't get out of something, and they're thinking with a klein, like a very small mind. So Moshe says to us, the little Moshe says, Ani Adonai, you don't know this yet, but you trust me, Moshe says. There's a taste of freedom, there's a taste of liberation that is available, and it's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind. So with that, go back to the Jewish people. Now, just a spoiler alert, he goes back, and it doesn't go that well either. So you think to yourself, okay, great. Now, so you know Ani Adonai, and great. He goes back. At some point when people's trust and their belief has become so inured and so depressed, Moshe has to take really extreme measures. He has to do the miraculous thing. Ani Adonai doesn't work. But for us, for normal people, I guess, who aren't, let's say, as in as horrible a situation, maybe just hearing that it's possible, Ani Adonai, right? That a promise could come to fruition might be sufficient. Check in with yourselves tonight. Ask yourselves that question tonight. If someone were to come and give you the key to what it is that imprisons you, would you recognize it? Or how would you? What could they say that might make you believe and trust that something better is possible? When we lose that, friends, we're really lost. Thank God for Moshe and for Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh and for Rashi to bring us the differential between hearing a name and knowing it intimately. There's a Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh somewhere, but Hashem should bless all of us. May God bless us with an intimate taste of the one who makes all things possible. Amen. Please rise. On page 81 and 82 on the top of the page. No, olam.
Olam chesed yibaneh.
Yalai, na-da-da-da. Olam chesed yibaneh. Yalai, la-lai, la-la-lai. Olam chesed yibaneh. Yalai, la-lai, la-la-lai. Olam chesed yibaneh. Yalai, Olam chesed yibaneh. Yalai, Olam chesed yibaneh. Yalai, Olam chesed yibaneh. Olam chesed yibaneh. I will build this world from love. Yadalai, yadalai. You must
Build this world from love.
Aleinu, Adonai, Aleinu, and it is we build this world from love. Aleinu, Aleinu, Aleinu. Then God, she'll build this world from love. Yadalai, yadalai, yadalai. Oh, olam chesed, olam chesed yibaneh. Yadalai, yadalai, yadalai. Olam chesed yibaneh. Yadalai, yadalai. V'nemar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz v'yom hahu yeh Adonai ושמו Please remain standing if you're remembering a loved one tonight. We lift up the names of loved ones. Daniel. Ron. Okay. We also, of course, there are those online who recite the Mourner's Kaddish. We lift up those whose names have been written into the chat. We also lift up the mother of Mark as well tonight. And please rise if it's your custom to stand for the mourners. Mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 115 and 116. Yiskadal v'yiskadash shemei Rabbah v'olma divera chirusei v'yamlich malchusei v'chayichon v'yomechon v'chayedecho beit Yisrael v'agala v'zman kori v'yemiru Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mivorach le'olam v'me'amaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam yitnasei v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dikudsha brichu le'ila mikol b'chata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata damiran v'oma v'imru Amen. Yesh lo merabba min shmaya v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru Oseh shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yal kol yoshvei tevel v'imru Amen. Yeh zichram baruch, may their memory be a blessing. I invite everybody to please rise for Kiddush, which can be found in your Siddurim on page 87 and 88. Into our cup of blessing tonight. Yasher koach to Noah and to Shoshana. Yasher koach to Nate. Yasher koach to our moderators and those who are here on staff, to Jeffrey and to Blanca and to, Victor and Blanca and the entire team, Freddie. Tomorrow morning again, our open book at 8:45, Parsha class, and 10 o'clock will be our study. Yom HaShishi, Vayichlu HaShamayim V'Aretz V'chol Tzva'am, Vayichal Elohim V'Yom HaShvi'i Melachto Asher Asach, Vayishbos V'Yom HaShvi'i Mikol Melachto Asher Asach, Vayivarech Elohim Es Yom HaShvi'i V'Yikadesh Oso, Ki Bo Shavas Mikol Melachto Asher Bar Elohim Lasot Tzavri Chavirai, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu mitzvosav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'yavav ratzon inchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reyeshis ki hu yom techila zecher l'tzias kivanu v'charta עם כל העמים ושבת קודשך ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. Jeff, is there a kiddush next door? Everybody's invited. There's a kiddush next door in the Romemu Center. It's 30 feet across the street. If you're here for the first time and you're wondering who the regulars are, we're going to have not the first timers, but the regulars. Who are the regulars here before they leave? Regulars. You guys have been deputized. Find the people who are here for the first time. 1 second. Who's here for the first time? First timers? First timers. people who are like not regular. If you self-identify as not regular at Romemu, and so the people who are here as regulars, you are duly deputized to say hello and to welcome those who are here for the first time and bring them to a Kiddush. We hope that you'll come back. Good Shabbos, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos.
la la la